Hey everyone, welcome to the Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgity. We're here to chat about all things mental health, share some awesome stories, educate, and advocate to break stigmas and gain power through knowledge for all ages and walks of life, and give you the tools you need to boost your mental game. So grab a coffee, get comfy, tune in, get inspired, and let's dive into some fascinating conversations. Remember, your mind is super powerful, and with the right tools and knowledge, you can master your mental playbook. And while you're doing that, take care of you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mental Playbook with Christine Dalgity. Today we're doing another Q&A with Lily, and we'll see what she has for me today. Last time she put me on the spot a lot, so we'll see. We'll see how I handle it.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Oh no, that doesn't sound good. Okay.
All right, we're going to start with segment 1, the warm-up. So, if you could move anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I could bring my family with me, I would move. I loved Italy when I went.
Yeah,
I want to go back to Italy. I also love Costa Rica.
I want to go there. So
Costa Rica was like, we were at a resort, but we were sitting, my sister and I traveled together and we get up really early. And we were sitting on the balcony at the resort. And I'm just like, just listen, right? It's like the ocean was on our right. There was like mountains and like rainforest we could see. And then we could hear the howler monkeys in the trees. And I'm like this has everything. So
Costa Rica, yeah.
Costa Rica would probably be, yeah.
Yeah, it is a very common one, but yeah, I can't wait to visit. It's a good one.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Out of all your hobbies, which one is your favorite?
I don't know if I'd call watching sports a hobby or sports a hobby. I mean, it is. But that is my thing. Like, that's my favorite. But my hobbies, I think baking and cooking.
Baking?
Yeah. Is my being in the kitchen. It's my therapy. I kind of go into like deep thought and stuff. Not like, thoughts, but just start like thinking about, well, I also start planning. So that's not good for you. But I plan things and
It clears your head kind of thing in a way.
Yeah, I love the Cricut and like all the crafty stuff, like making shirts. I love making stuff for people. Kind of my acts of service and giving, that's kind of my love language. But yeah, I think for me, cooking and baking is my favorite.
Yeah. Okay, is it Cricut or is it Cricut?
They call it a Cricut, but it's spelled, when I first got it, I used to call it a cry cut, right? Because it's CRICUT, right? Yeah. But everywhere you hear it, it's Cricut.
Yeah, okay. Because I think my aunt was saying, "Do you have a Cricut?" I'm like, "A Cricut?" She's like, "No, it's a." I'm like, "No, I don't, but I know somebody that does. But that's not how you say it."
Yeah. I think like when I because I told you last one that I watch videos to learn things. So even with the Cricut, and now I'm like.
You're gonna double think.
All the videos I watch, they call it a Cricut.
So, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was right. It's good. That's all that matters. No. What's something about running your own business that nobody warned you about?
A lot, and nobody, I always said when I started, I'm a psychotherapist who happens to own a business. Yeah. And so there's a lot to learn, and I went in green, like I didn't know. The financial stuff, for sure, making sure, receipts and logging everything and tracking everything and monthly, all of that kind of stuff I didn't know about, and I learned as I went. Now I say I'm a psychotherapist and a business owner because it's been almost January 11th, it'll be 9 years. So since I opened it, it went so fast. Mm-hmm. But I think... Yeah, I think the financial stuff the most, but it's a lot of work. People don't think, the other thing that people think, just because, I always go off topic a little bit, but is that because you own a business, you're rich. And they don't look at all the stuff that you have to pay out. And like even, my employees' taxes, I have to match those taxes and pay them too, right? Like the CPP, the EI, and stuff like that. So people don't understand the amount of money that goes out each month as well. And I never knew that either. So
I heard it like takes like minimum 5 years for it to just start being okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I was by myself, just me, I was a sole proprietor. So it's different. Like any money that comes in is my money essentially. And I was by myself. So it was what I was making. So I probably made more then than I do now because I have 10 employees and, you know, now I'm a corporation too. So,
okay. Cool.
So that it's separate from my personal. Yeah.
Good to know. If your grandkids could sum you up in one word, what do you think it would be?
Oh, that's going to make me cry. Wow. I mean, I think that they adore me as much as I adore them. I mean, well, you saw them on Saturday. They run to me when they come in. I think it would be fun or joy.
Yeah.
Because they just beam when and according to my son, every time they get in trouble now, they say, I'm going to Grandma's house. Or they say, I'm going to see Grandma. She'll give it to me. That's what Edie said to him. And I was like, not wrong. But yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I don't know.
Joy. I like it.
Yeah.
They're so cute. They're adorable.
They were playing shy on Saturday, and that's not normally, yeah, I don't know. Well, there was a lot of us here, too, when they walked in.
There was.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's cute.
All right. We're moving on to the first half.
All right.
So these are some listeners' questions or just our social media questions.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the pressure of the end of the year countdown when you feel behind on your goals? Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. So, like, how would somebody or how do I? I guess if it's a listener question, they want to know how to do it. Yeah. I think that's a twofold question depending on your age because we get a lot of people in December, but we also get a lot of students in May, June because school year is ending.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. And so we get both of those, right? A lot of times, like in May, June, we get a lot of teenagers, a lot that are graduating and they haven't done all the work and now the stress levels are, and then we get people that they have goals. And so I think that I would say slow it down. Why does it have to be the end of the year? Right? It kind of goes back into New Year's resolutions and we depending on what it is too, right? Like businesses have fiscal and sometimes it's end of December. Mine isn't, but so there's pressure there to make sure everything's wrapped up and for like the average person who doesn't run a business, I would say to change your narrative a little bit. Which goals absolutely or which tasks absolutely have to be wrapped up by the end of the year and which are just what we think because it's the end of the year. Like how many times on Facebook on January 1st do you see this is a new chapter, rewrite your or 365 days, whatever, rewrite your story. This is right, which I'm big. I do like natural breaks to change things, and that is a natural break. Yeah. But I think that we just put too much pressure on ourselves. Change your narrative, and break it down. Prioritize your goals, and then break it down. If you have one major goal, break it down into subsections. Yeah. Going towards the end of the year, because when our brains see a big goal or a list of something, it says, yeah, I'm going to go scroll or I'm going to clean the baseboards, right? But if it sees like little bits, it says, oh, I can manage that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the times too, it's like, let's say a common one you hear is read a book per month. So like 12 books, and then you're in October, let's say, and you're like, still have to read 12
Yeah.
books.
Yeah. So who says that you have to read 12 books? That was your goal.
Yeah.
Change your goal.
Yeah.
To be more, more in line. That's the pressures that we put on ourselves, right? It doesn't mean you're going to lose your job, or it doesn't mean, right?
Exactly.
It's your goal, so change it up.
All right, number 2. How do I let go of past mistakes or regrets?
All right, so I don't believe in regrets.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And like I said, I've said before, like, yeah, if you're doing something intentionally to hurt somebody or your actions have really hurt somebody, then that might be a regret. But we learn from our mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're human. Mm-hmm. And we make decisions based on what we know to be true in the moment, with the information that we have in the moment. And they're not always the best decisions, but that's what we know. Hindsight bias is when we look back, now that we know the outcome, and we judge ourselves on it. Well, we didn't know the outcome then, right? So I think that a lot of it is self-compassion and being kinder to ourselves and saying, all right, so I made a mistake. Like, what did you do after you made that mistake? What did you learn from it, and what did you do to correct it? I think that's more important than the mistake itself.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that we take mistakes as like such a bad thing, but it's like the most successful people, like whatever success is for you, mm-hmm. they're there because they've made so many mistakes.
Absolutely.
So. Absolutely.
And I mean, because I'm sporty, I use athletes as examples and stuff with kids. And I remember, mostly in the school system too, because I don't see as many kids now, but it's like, do you think that Sidney Crosby did top shelf wrist shot the first time he did it? No, he'd maybe missed the net. He'd maybe not lift it. He made those mistakes until he practiced it and corrected it. A little bit different, but we literally learn from mistakes, because if we never made mistakes, we wouldn't grow and change.
Yeah.
We don't do it again. Yeah. Right? Well, hopefully. Some people have to keep on doing it until they learn, but
might be different mistakes.
Yeah.
My teenage girl is so hard on herself, and I'm not sure how to help her out. Just in general. Okay. That's the question. Just in general, hard on herself.
I think as I was processing this in my brain, all I could think of was that TikTok. We listen and we don't judge, right? Because I was just going to say 2 words: listen, judgmentally. Because I think what happens too is, I know, because I hear it all the time. Parents often say, well, I was a teenager once too. Right? Yeah, you were. And yes, the teenage brain's the same now as it was in 1980s when I was a teenager. But life is different. And we didn't have social media. And yeah, we would see like the supermodels in magazines and stuff and be sitting there like, oh, I want to be like that. It's everywhere now. And it's judgment. So I think there's that. But the other part of it too is that brain development. We did a podcast on teen brain development, and a teenager's brain, the prefrontal cortex, isn't fully developed. And so how they perceive things is a lot different. And their amygdala reacts before their brain, the logic part of their brain, can catch up. So the amygdala is the stress response part. It's the part that gets you like wound up and high alert and gets adrenaline flowing and everything. So it responds before logic can catch up because of the underdeveloped. So when you say things like, oh, it's not the end of the world, or even things like, one day you'll forget all about this. It doesn't matter, because in that moment, it's the end of the world and I'm never going to forget it. So I think it's just being, to help your teenage daughter, building up their self-esteem, listening, validating, showing them ways, especially because a lot of teenage girls, we get the mean girl stuff. We get the judgment of like body image and stuff like that. And finding ways, I'm all about the facts, right? But finding ways to show them the rock star that they are. I think it's kind of general because there's so many different things, right?
Yeah.
I could give examples specifically, but
yeah.
I think listening non-judgmentally is like, because girls are very dramatic and when they're teenagers and they're very emotional, and I know my niece FaceTimed me from school, and she's a couple weeks ago, and she's like, okay, I just need to tell you this story. And I mean, she's 20, but
Yeah.
she's like, I just need to tell you this story because I told Dad, and after I told him, he went, that's why you called me? That's why you're upset? And I said, okay, what is it? And I'm not going to lie. And I actually started to laugh because I wanted to say, really, Danica? That's what you... But in that moment to her, and she goes, it's more of a frustration thing.
Yeah.
It's more, right? But I just listened and I just said, yeah, that's ridiculous. That's, and then she was okay.
Yeah.
But it was just, I mean, she was raised mainly by a single dad, so
Yeah.
she came to me a lot for the emotion stuff.
That's fair. What about the like other way around of like, let's say you're like a super chill parent, and you don't push for crazy grades, like, but your kid is like, I need to get an A or else I fail, kind of thing, and it's just like, it's like, where do you get that from? So it's like how to help them through that, or like through their sports. It's like, you're good, chill, but they don't think so.
But they don't think so.
Yeah.
So you saying chill isn't going to be helpful to them. I mean, you can do that without, it's, again, I would pull out the facts. So if it's grades, right? I would say something like, okay, why do you need to get 98? What's the worst thing that can happen if you get a 90? Right? Or an 85? What's the worst thing? The problem though, right now, what I'm seeing is a lot of universities, the kids have to get like mid to high 90s to get in to certain programs.
Yeah.
Right? Like programs that I know that when I was growing up, and even when I was working in the school system, there were some programs some science programs and stuff.
Yeah.
But these are like general programs and they have to get in the 90s.
It's so weird. I don't understand it.
Yeah. It's, and my niece is very much like in high school, it had to be, she graduated, she was valedictorian, she graduated like in 97, but it was like, she would be like melting down trying to get this stuff. And I'm kind of like that too, but for myself, others I don't, but she was melting down. And I said to her, and then when she went to university and she's doing psych because she wants to do this, and I said to her, I'm going to tell you something. You do well, yes, you work hard, work ethic and stuff, but so when I hire a psychotherapist, I never ask them what their GPA was. Right?
Exactly.
I want to know that they're able to do it. I want to know that they have the knowledge of it. I don't care if they had a 97 or an 87, right? If they fail, okay. Right? But, and so I think it's just kind of using a CBT with your kids that you have to take your opinion away though. If you're chill, that doesn't matter in that moment. You can use it to say, what's the worst thing that can happen? How many times have you failed a test? Never, right? And what are the chances that you're going to fail? If you fail, that's a problem. If you're getting in the 80s instead of the high 90s, sports, what is your goal? NHL. Okay. You can also be honest with them and say a small percentage of hockey players make it to the NHL. But if that's your goal, that's your work ethic, then we can work at that. But putting the pressure on yourself is going to make you hate it.
Yeah, and that's not going to get you in.
No. No.
So
I think it's just about being reasonable with them and taking your own biases aside, because your chillness can seem invalidating and dismissive to what they're feeling.
That's fair. I didn't think of it that way. This one's interesting.
Oh dear.
How do I convince my husband to do premarital therapy? Do we even need it?
Wow. I think, I don't know about premarital therapy, maybe. I think that couples therapy, I've said I am not a couples therapist. I never will be because I feel like a parent in between them. Like, why are you siding with him? Why are you siding with her? I'm not. I'm trying to get you to see their side, and that,
Yeah.
but that's what happens.
Yeah.
So I paid for the other girls to get the training, but I am learning from it, and just with my own working with clients, I think that couples therapy isn't just because you're having problems. I think that couples therapy really helps you communicate with each other. And, I just had a client the other day and I said, it sounds to me like you and your husband are keeping things from each other to protect each other.
Hmm.
Well, that's communication breakdown, right? And those are holding things in, and it can seem like lying by omission, even though you're protecting. So I think that, I mean, yeah, if you want to make sure you go into your marriage communicating things and understanding each other, it's a lot better than waiting 5 years in and not wanting to be with each other anymore. It's better to learn those techniques. And sometimes it's just having a neutral person there to, I've had clients that are individual clients ask me if they could bring their spouse in, their partner in, not necessarily a spouse, but a partner in for me to help them explain things.
Mm.
Right?
That's very
Because they have a hard time sharing it, or, they wanted me to help them. And we script it and everything, but then they just wanted, like whether they're explaining mental health or something like that, they wanted me to then help out with that. So the more I talk about it, the more I think, yeah, it's probably a good idea.
But is there like one of her questions, how do I convince my husband?
I don't think you can't. That's why I bypass that.
Yeah.
Because it's just like we have people that call to make appointments for their partners because they think they should have therapy, or their kids, adult kids or teenage kids, and they book them appointments. And we say they have to want to, right? Ethically, we can't force someone to have therapy. If you're trying to convince somebody to come to therapy and they don't want to come to therapy, or they don't see merit in that therapy, they're not going to participate fully and they're not going to make any changes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a tough one.
If you talk to your partner about it and you talk about, like, gather information about, I think that there's a stigma too that couples therapy is just when you're having problems and it's about arguing things out and it's about, now I got to tell. No, it's about the communication. It's learning how to communicate more effectively too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I don't know if it's a stigma or a myth or whatever, how you would say it, but it's also, you hear a lot of the times, like, I don't want to go, and then they find a problem that we didn't originally have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And even with that, okay, they find a problem and then you work on it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if they find a problem, the problem's there.
Yeah.
And the therapist isn't going to find a problem.
No.
The problem's going to come out
Yeah.
when you're talking. That's a myth too, that we like dig and look for problems because we want to fix you, right? People aren't things to be fixed. We help you figure things out.
Are arguments healthy in a relationship?
Or what, sorry?
Are arguments?
Arguments.
Arguments.
Okay, I thought you said are humans. I'm like, what? Are arguments healthy in a relationship? 100%. Arguments, not fighting. And I talk about a movie that I watched that, oh, there's my cat. A movie that I watched that, Life as We Know It or something, Katherine Heigl and Josh Duhamel, and their friends pass away in an accident. They have custody of the daughter.
Yes.
And they kind of, it's a rom-com, so they kind of fall in love and then split up, and she's seeing someone else, and then he comes back at Thanksgiving, and it's more of a shouting match, but they're arguing in there, and then she comes back in, she's like, eat the turkey, right? And then her partner says to her, she apologized, and her current partner says, if my wife and I had argued like that, we would still be together. Right. And I remember hearing that because you're the passion in it, but also takes me to my son's vows too. And at his wedding, and they wrote their own vows, and he said to Jody, he was saying things that he was looking forward to, and he said, and looking forward to arguing with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of like, what? And then he said, because if we feel free to argue, then we feel free to be ourselves and express our own views without, and he was going like that. And I was like, oh, damn. Yeah. And so, yes, arguing is because you're two individuals. You're going to have difference of opinions. Yeah. And I always say, I'm not dissing marriages of 65, 70 years at all, 50 years. I think that's fabulous. But often they say, never had one fight in 70 years. Yeah. That's because you just kept everything in. Yeah. Right? That's that generation. You kept everything in and you didn't voice your opinion.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it's definitely a good feeling when you have that freedom to argue, because at the end of the day, you'll figure it out, kind of thing.
As long as you do.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
As long as you do. I mean, there are those sides that all you do is argue. Well, then, no, you need to take a step back. But, one thing with Ryan's, he doesn't watch my podcast, so it's good because I talk about him all the time. But one thing he said to me before him and Jody even got married was, because they can argue. She holds her own, but he said we argue and everything, but then once we cool down, we always talk it out. Yeah. Right? We always talk it out, and that's what's important.
Exactly, yeah. All right, moving on to halftime break.
Okay.
A little bit more lighthearted questions here, I think. If you could take a mental health day tomorrow, what would you do?
It's funny, because I'm going to take a mental health day tomorrow. That's my first Saturday or weekend or day that I have not had anything to do in probably 2 months.
Oh, wow. That'll be nice.
And a part of my mental health day is I might just stay in my pajamas tomorrow. But I'm going to work on the house a little bit because there's things that I wanted to get done, organizing stuff. But that's for tomorrow. If I had a mental health day tomorrow like a work day or something that I could just, one thing that my sister and I sometimes do on a mental health day, like a Friday afternoon, here where we live, there's Kin Vineyard. And yes, it's a vineyard, but we don't sit, and get drunk or anything. Yeah. But we sit outside, and we have a glass of wine and we have lunch, and you're just looking at the vineyards and stuff. Like, that's awesome. But often on my mental health days, I just stick to myself. I just, I'll either have friends over for a glass of wine or a coffee or something, or I just stick to myself. I talk to people about problems all day long, every day. So sometimes my mental health is just, I'll craft, or I'll bake, I'll bake stuff and bring them to my grandkids, that kind of thing. That would be my mental health day.
Do you prefer structured routines or going with the flow?
All my this and that's, I'm like, both. I think that structure is, I think humans need structure and routine, but I think we also need to go with the flow. Like, I am very much, I think that there's like a baseline structure in my life. There's a baseline structure and routine, but I am someone who doesn't get too upset about things. I am someone, like, if something doesn't work, I might vent about it a little bit, but then I kind of let it go. Like, I was telling you before the podcast recording that when my friend and I went to Toronto, right? And she was like, okay, what restaurant do you want to go to? And I was like, why don't we just walk down the street and see what we see, right? Or what bar do you want to go to tonight? I don't care. Why don't we just see what's there? Like, I'm like that, but we also need some structure and routine. It can't be willy-nilly all the time.
Yeah. If you could read everything people said about you in a book, like they wrote everything about you in a book, would you read it? Great things, bad things.
I absolutely would read it.
Yeah?
I absolutely would read it. And because that's how people see me. And I think that we learn from stuff like that. Like, if sometimes we don't know things that we're doing that hurt people too, right? So if people were putting bad things about me too, then it would sting.
Yeah.
I'd probably get like, "Pfft," and then whatever, and then and then think about it, process it.
Yeah.
With my social anxiety, that's a hard one because of the perfectionism but I'm getting so much better at that with the CBT I do myself and just getting older and not caring so much what people think about me. Yeah, I would absolutely read it.
If people had to write their names after what they said, would it change anything?
I think it'd be better.
Oh, yeah?
Because I would know where I stand with that person.
Yeah.
I think that people may have these negative thoughts about you and you have no idea. And I think that makes you feel more vulnerable than if I knew what that person thought about me. I'd either talk to them about it or I might stay away from that person if they thought that poorly about me.
Yeah.
But I'm all about, I want to know what... I don't want to know what people think about me, but I don't want to know what people think about me, but I'd rather know what an individual's thinking about me and how I relate to that person or talk to that person or cut that person out or whatever than not.
Yeah, because then you also have the other side. If somebody is saying something amazing about you and you're like, I didn't know I had to get back like that on you,
For sure.
Like, okay,
for sure.
Let's try this one.
Oh no, she's laughing.
No, because it's kind of weird.
Okay.
If happiness had a scent, what would yours smell like?
Vanilla.
Oh, yeah?
See, look at that.
She already knew what she was going to say. She's thought of this.
Vanilla, not lavender. I hate lavender. That makes me feel ill. But everyone's like, do lavender. Nope. It's not calming. Vanilla's calming to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Want to hear a cool story?
Yes.
So there's a candle over there. A client gave it to me at Christmas and it's Sunday mornings. And Sunday mornings, we always went to my dad's house. So it made me think of my dad. She gave it to me before he passed. But, and it's sitting beside the picture of my dad over there with McKinley. And not the night my dad died, the night after, we were all here in the living room. And my niece Jessica was sitting near the candle. Danica was sitting on the other side, and my brother John was walking by the table. And we were talking about Dad, and that candle started spinning. And it's a vanilla candle. And it started spinning. And I kind of saw it with the corner of my eye. My brother stopped. And then Jessica and Danica were like, did you see that? And I have it like sitting on a lid, and it kind of fell off the lid. And they're all like, yes, I saw that. So it wasn't like just somebody, who all saw it. That candle, I am not making this up at all. That's not what I do. When I'm feeling down thinking about my dad, or if I'm sitting over here even and the candle's across the room, I smell vanilla.
Yeah.
It was my favorite scent before, but
it's
like all of a sudden I smell vanilla from the candle.
Huh.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Weird. It's also my father, I think, keeping tabs on me. But yeah, there you go. Cool story.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah. I believe that stuff.
Yeah, I do. Certainly. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Second half. So now it's one of our listeners' story. It's a big one.
Okay.
So if you need me to repeat anything, let me know.
Okay.
I've been feeling completely drained lately. Work has been nonstop, and even when I leave the office, my brain doesn't stop. I lie awake thinking about projects, deadlines, and the things I didn't get done. I used to pride myself on being productive, but now I feel like I'm just surviving, not thriving. It's not even like I hate my job. I actually like what I do, and I care about my team. But the constant pace, the emails after hours, and the expectations to always perform has started to feel like a weight I can't shake. I catch myself snapping at colleagues over small things or feeling resentful when others don't seem as busy as I am. Wrong side. I don't even know where to start. Do I talk to my manager, try to push through, or just accept that maybe I'm not cut out for this pace? I feel stuck, and I'm scared that if I don't figure it out soon, it's going to start affecting my health or my personal life in a bigger way.
Okay. First things first, no, you do not push through and can't remember the words you used there, but no. You come up with a list of clear boundaries, workplace boundaries, and that is what hours you work. That is what you're willing to do after hours, if anything, and how many times a week, or you come up with your limits at work and you look at your contract and you come to your manager with that in hand. And because if you don't set your own boundaries, nobody else is going to set them for you. If you're going to give of yourself at work, like after work and everything, if you always answer the emails after work, they're going to keep emailing you after work, right? And what sometimes I email my staff after hours, that's normally because I'm going to forget if I don't, but I talk to them and often I'll say, you don't have to answer this now. Or like if I send you a text on the weekend or something, you don't have to answer this. It's just keep it in mind because I forget. Or I'll forget, or it'll be midnight and I'm lying in bed. I'm like, ah, and then right, and then the next I'll do it in the morning. Then the next night, ah. So I think that if you don't have a manager that respects your boundaries, then don't just go to your manager though and say, this is getting to be too much. This is, have your list in hand, your boundaries, because employers are legally obligated to make their workplace psychologically safe.
Yeah.
It's a legal obligation in Canada. They have to accommodate, but is it an accommodation not to have all the stuff outside work, right?
Yeah.
The other thing, you go to your manager with list in hand, but you have to set the boundaries. So if you're getting emails after work, don't answer them.
Yeah.
Don't read them.
Yeah.
Wait till the next day. And you'll also be surprised at the number of people that, like, sometimes if I email someone back at night, they're like, oh, I didn't think I was going to get this.
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to reply till Monday, like clients and stuff like that. And sometimes I check Kyla's email on the weekend just in case somebody's canceling for first thing Monday morning or needs something right away. And often clients will, hope you enjoyed your weekend.
Yeah.
Right? Because they think it's going to be Monday. So set your own boundaries within your limits. Do not answer emails and stuff outside. If people are giving you too much work, that doesn't mean you're not cut out for it, right? Are there people that are not cut out for the work that they're doing? Absolutely, but that's something completely different. Yeah. I think that, like I said, if you keep answering them, people are going to keep sending them. If you say, oh no, I can get that on Friday night, or I can get that Thursday night when you get home from work at 6, and then, oh no, I'll get it done by tomorrow, people are going to say thank you.
Yeah.
So, and then we start to get in this spiral of burnout, right?
Yeah.
And we've done podcasts on chronic stress and burnout, and it's going to affect you physically and mentally.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough because, like, you hear it often, a lot of jobs now, the whole, like, people think they have to answer right away, or because we just have access to that. And then sometimes you'll have those, let's say, those managers or owners that'll all be like, well, they should answer. And it's just like, no, like, they don't need to. And I find that, and it happens, and the way I think of it is like, okay, I'm going to start doing it this way so that for the next person, the bosses, or let's say, that's what I used to do, don't think that, like, don't have a standard, an expectation, because that's what happens sometimes. You have this, like, employee that's like gold star in a way of, like, they just do everything, they like, and they're just on top of stuff. So then everybody else is like measured up to them, and it's just like, that's not realistic. This person is like a whole other human.
Absolutely.
Versus everybody is just normal.
A whole other human, but maybe doesn't have boundaries themselves.
Exactly, yeah.
And maybe melting down at home, but
there's that too.
Yeah. Or, I mean, they could be gold star, but yeah, you have to set your own boundaries, and people will get over it, or they'll adapt to it. And I think like from an employer's perspective, that's something that employers have to work on too, because I own my business. So I work a lot, and I am working on the weekends. I set my own boundaries. I don't work all weekend. Well,
Yeah.
we have been doing these podcasts and stuff for your mat leave.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but that's fine. But I do, like, I may be, come home from work at 6 o'clock, and then I'm doing paperwork for the day, and I'm looking at things and planning for the week, and then I might text you or I might text somebody else and stuff like that. And I have to keep that in mind too, because even though I may say, you don't have to answer this, you guys always answer me.
Yeah.
Right? And so I have to, when an employee comes to the employer, they also have to regroup and think about that too, and not just, I own the business. I'm supposed to work harder than you guys, right? Like, I'm supposed to work more than my staff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I'm thinking of other.
Yeah. And I have an amazing staff. And
You do.
well, we were talking before you came, right? Like on Saturday when we had a day of recording stuff, and one of my therapists came from 2 hours away. She's an online therapist. She drove 2 hours almost 2 hours each way. Another came in on mat leave. She brought her little 5-week-old dude with her. And a student came in and stuff.
Yeah.
And I truly, truly, truly 150% appreciate my staff and everything they do. But I always let them know that too.
Yeah.
Right. And so Saturday night I was sitting here afterwards once I got my grandkids to bed, because they were here too. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing that you guys do that. And I want you to know
Yeah.
how much I appreciate you. So I think employers out there recognizing that too.
Well, and it just shows your leadership also, right? Like,
Compliments.
yes. But yeah, no, it's because there's an impact on when you have a good leader. Like, people will just be like, yeah, I'm going to show up. So.
And I try to do things throughout the year too, to show them, like, we're going on that retreat, right? I take everyone to a spa and get hotel rooms, and we just have a away from the office, and we laugh and go out for dinner and everything. I think that that helps with burnout for people too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. All right. Overtime questions. So this one's this or that. Routine or spontaneity? Oh my God.
Routine or spontaneity?
Yeah. Thanks.
I think that they each have their place. Here I go again.
Yeah. It's kind of the same question as before.
Well,
but.
yeah. But I think they each have their place, because I think that, we need some routine, but then sometimes it's fun just to say, let's do this. Yeah. Right? So both.
All right. Okay, so I would think for this one more like business-wise, not like completely life-wise.
Okay.
Like it's because it says staying safe or taking a risk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Business-wise.
I think this will be life-wise, but not like in a bad way.
Not like, yeah. Business-wise, I think taking a risk. I think that you have to take risks in order to be safe, right? Like, I left a job of 24 years with a pension and benefits and everything to, not knowing. I think I was safe while I took the risk, because I kept my other job as it built a little bit. But I think, I just said this to a client yesterday, 2 clients yesterday. If we don't take risks, we don't move.
Yeah.
Right? So I think we have to take risks.
Vulnerability or armor?
Again, I think we have to be vulnerable in order to grow and change. Vulnerability sucks, because when we're vulnerable, people hurt us. And I mean, I've been guilty too of putting armor up for years. I think that with certain people, we need to have armor. I think that when we're really hurt, armor comes up. But I think that if we're vulnerable, we grow and change, and allow people in that we might not allow.
Mm. You allow also people to be vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, last one. Following logic or following intuition?
I'm a CBT therapist, so I'm very logical, but I'm also very intuitive. Like you guys all call me, well, I think you have called me that too, but all the girls in the office think I'm a witch, right? Like I do have this intuition, not like I'm a witch, like I'm a witch. I have intuition, and I think that you really have to go with your gut. I mean, we just did a video, this or that video, and it was like, go with your head, go with your heart. And I said, go with your gut. So I think you have to go with your gut. You have to use your intuition, but you also have to use the logic part of it, right? Like you have to, we can't just go with our guts. We can't just go with our intuitions. We have to think through it and be logical and rational as well.
Final play here.
All right.
All right. So the question is for you, what's a simple way to feel more connected to yourself?
Sit with your feelings. Sit with yourself. Ask yourself what you want, what you like, what you don't like, not what everyone else thinks, you know. I think that if you don't sit with your emotions, if you don't feel what you're feeling and connect with them, you don't really know yourself. So the best way to get to know yourself is to feel everything you're feeling and ask yourself why, what you're reacting to. And like I said, what makes you happy and what you don't like, what you're willing to put up with. Like, ask yourself questions that you might ask someone else on a first date. Yeah,
that's definitely there was a trend about doing that. It's like, go take yourself out on a date and like write down your like questions and answer them kind of thing.
Yeah, I often say to people, a friend of mine, she was like, years and years ago, she said, oh, I just wish I was like you. Like, I want to find someone to make me happy, and you don't have anyone, but you're happy, right? And I was like, oh, thanks. But what I said to her was, you're never going to find someone to make you happy.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself happy, right? Like you have to know yourself and understand yourself and be happy with being alone before you can be with someone else.
Yeah. Agree.
I've been alone for a long time. I am the happiest person in the world. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. That's that. That's the questions.
All right. Thanks for joining us today. It was another fun one. She put me on the spot again. A couple I had to really think about. If you have any questions for us for any of our Q&As, we're going to do them regularly. Drop us a question in the comments or reach out to us. And follow us on Spotify, subscribe to us on YouTube, and take care of you.